Welcome to the Metro Arena in Espoo, Finland for the 6th event on the International Skating Union's Grand Prix Series. Grand Prix Espoo has already seen the women's and pairs short program be decided, and now we look ahead to the men's event. As the ISU representatives, judges and officials are introduced to the arena, you get to see the lineup of the contenders competing. 12 men taking part in the men's short program, and we've seen in the recently contested women's event 2 winners returning to this final Grand Prix assignment. And what a great contest that turned out to be between Mai Mahara and Luna Hendricks, who lie in 1st and 2nd place after the short program. Ahead today, we can look to see Ilia Malinin, the sensation from the United States of America, who is the first man to have landed a quadruple axel, and he was the winner at the first Grand Prix of the series this year at the Skate America in Massachusetts. Here, scenes of Espoo, a city which is the 2nd most populated in Finland, and often the home for great skating, having hosted the Finlandia Trophy just a few short weeks ago on the Challenger Series. And the venue now for the 6th and final stage of the Grand Prix, which is another preparatory event for the ISU Championships, the Europeans, which take place in this venue between the 23rd and 29th of January next year. We saw 3 women compete from the home nation, and we'll see an amazing story of Valtter Virtanen from Finland, who will compete as the 2nd competitor onto the ice in the men's short, in addition to 3 Japanese entrants in this first group. Before then seeing the final flight in the men's competition to include the 10th skater to take to the ice, Ilia Malinin, who has blown expectations of what is possible in our sport this year. There we will have 9 judges, a referee, and 3 members of the technical panel. The technical panel in the women's competition, strict in their analysis of both the edge calls and the rotation done on the ice for 10 of the 12 women who competed in the women's short program. Great for the skaters to get that level of feedback and analysis from the technical panel. Remains to be seen what is decided of the men and their rotation. Exciting to see how many potential season's bests and personal bests will be achieved by the 12 to compete. In a completely different order again for this Grand Prix of the 4 disciplines, with the ice dance competition being the final event of both days. We'll see that take place when the conclusion of the men's short program has happened. Always the most anxious of times just before the skaters are allowed onto the ice. Desperately eager to get the competition underway. As with the pairs and the women, all of the men will have had official practice ice today, where the technical panel will have been looking to see the planned program content for each of the skaters competing. Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda, the first of the 3 Japanese men competing, followed by Valtter Virtanen, Nikolaj Majorov from Sweden, the reigning world junior bronze medalist Tatsuya Tsuboi, One of the Selevko brothers, Aleksandr. The winner of the bronze medal at the MK John Wilson Trophy, Shun Sato. And as with the disciplines we've already enjoyed performing in Espoo today, some of the competitors in with a chance of participation at the Grand Prix final in Torino next month. Ilia Malinin, who we'll see yet to compete in the second group, undoubtedly the heavy favourite for inclusion at that prestigious event. So Shun Sato also in with a shout. He has 11 points on the Grand Prix standing so far, thanks to the bronze medal he achieved in his first assignment. But it is a different kind of experience for Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda from Japan. He's not vying for a spot at the Grand Prix final, but a good result here ahead of the Japanese National Championships. Now, just a fascinating story from Valtter Virtanen. He works as a medical doctor in an emergency room, and this his 17th season as a senior skater. 35 years young now, and no doubt, I am sure, inspired by Diana Stellato-Dudek, who became the eldest winner of a Grand Prix at 39 years young, and she inspiring so many. And indeed, Valtter coming into some of the best form of his career, juggling his athletic pursuits alongside both his work as a doctor and as a new father. And now to Sweden's Nikolaj Majorov. Comes from a family of skaters. His brother Alexander was a seasoned senior competitor, and his father serves as coach. And last season, Nikolaj competed at the Games in Beijing, finishing in 21st place there, went on to 19th at the World Championships in Montpellier. And this season, he's competed already in the venue, having finished in 7th place at the Finlandia Trophy here in the Espoo Arena. Didn't compete at Europeans, tested positive for COVID earlier this year, ruling him out of that event, but I'm sure he will be eager to compete at the European Championships here in 2 months' time. As he looked to Tatsuya Tsuboi. He's had boot problems since his first Grand Prix assignment, where he competed and finished 5th at the MK John Wilson Trophy. He's tweaked and worked with the boots, changing the tongue of the boot on his day of departure to come here. He's still eager to secure a new personal best. As we look to Estonia's Aleksandr Selevko. His brother, we've seen already compete in Skate America and at the Grand Prix de France. And Aleksandr looking strong with that quad toe, triple toe. He'll need that if he's to improve on the 8th place that he had at Skate Canada a month ago. And now one of the favourites coming into the competition, Shun Sato. 3rd at the MK John Wilson Trophy 2 weeks ago. Stepping out of his quad lutz there. Total respect to Sato, having returned to competition so relatively quickly following surgery that he had in February on his shoulder. One of Sato's major goals is the podium at the Japanese National Championships held around Christmas time. qualify him potentially for the World Championships in his home country. And more success there with the quadlutes. Final minute of warm-up, and we will see 7 elements from each of the men in the short program, with 3 of the 6 men in this first group having planned program content to include quadruple jumps, check a higher base value, potential to secure a bigger personal best. Everybody eager as the season progresses to keep nudging their own personal best and season's bests upward. Sure that'll be the case for Valtter Virtanen. It's wonderful to know this, his 17th season. And last year, the first time that he won a senior international competition. Proof that you can continue to improve into your 30s and beyond. The 3 women took part in the women's competition, finishing in 2nd, 3rd, and 6th place in that event. Because Tsuyoshi Honda is the first of 3 men in this first warm-up group from Japan, skating to the music El Choclo. Delayed rotation on a triple flip to open. Down on his most difficult element, the triple axel. Amazing elevation on the triple lutz in combination with triple toe. A well-constructed program to the El Choclo music, choreographed by Japanese ice dancer Kathy Reed. Just unfortunate for the mistake on the triple axel. For Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda from Japan. And Lucas has competed at the Japanese Junior National Championships for multiple seasons. And finally breaking out to be the champion in the 2020-2021 season. And indeed, Honda was the substitute for Shun Sato at the Junior World Championships earlier this year. Shun Sato, who we'll see skate later on, had injury that forced him to have a surgery. But at that event, Honda struggled with the pressure to get places for next year for the nation. He said that affected him mentally. Here at the triple axel, you can see a quarter of a rotation short. So the base value drops by over 1.5 points there. So potentially inclusion in this Grand Prix event is an opportunity for him to regain confidence. You can see so much height on the triple lutz. The technical panel just deeming that triple toe at the second part of the combination to be a quarter of a rotation short. So the base value of that jump combination remains the same, but the judges forced to reduce the grade of execution for the element. Not as seismic an impact on the score, but not optimal. And the hope will be that confidence gained from the experience here. And Tsuyoshi Honda is studying sports and health science. University student, and other athletes from different sports at his university, such as rhythmic gymnasts. Says that he enjoys mixing with friends at uni whilst he juggles the pursuits that he has on the ice. .67.92 for Lucas Tsuyoshi Honda from Japan. And that mandatory 1 point deduction for the fall on the triple axel. We'll see his free skate tomorrow. To await his fate as the rest of the competitors take to the ice. Valtter Virtanen from the home nation, 35 years young, in his 17th season as a senior competitor. Arm movement to accompany the landing of triple toe, triple toe. Struggling with the double axel. Brilliant butterfly, amazing speed on the flying camel. transition. That back counter into that finished position demonstrates amazing body control and so much to admire and appreciate. Such deep knees. I saw on his social media that he works squats regularly, and that strength in his legs facilitates really good ice coverage and improved skating skills, and wonderful to see that there is still progress and improvement. Technically not competitive given the lack of triple axel and given the simpler triple toe combination. That could be, I'm not sure if it is, that could well be his daughter. He said that he heard his daughter shout "Papa, Papa" before he started his program at the European Championships. Became a father in January of 2021. And indeed his wife is a former competitive skater, now one of his coaches, and it really would have to be a family affair where everybody's invested to be able to manage the challenge of being a competitive skater at this level. Triple toe, good height, good distance. Judges looking for good takeoff and good landing. So the grade of execution on that opening jump combo should be good. Totally off axis on the double axel, indicative of the fact that he may still not love the triple. Wasn't sure about the rotation. Yeah, quite a lot of the rotation of that Lutz, I think, done on the ice. Technical panel have deemed it as fully rotated. And whilst the technical element score, as I said, won't be competitive with others, I think the skating skills, composition and presentation, the three components, really good. That transition, so difficult. It won't get the same tangible value as a triple axel would, but wonderful to see for the man who works as a medical doctor in an emergency room. Just so much to admire and appreciate. And it was last year at the Nordic Championships that he won gold, and explained that in his 16th season as a senior, he finally won his first international title. And although he perhaps is here as a result of it being held in his home nation, I'm certainly grateful for his inclusion. Lots to admire from Valtter Virtanen. And a very respectable score of 69.15, just fraction, 2/10 of a point short of his personal best. So had that double axel been a bit more successful, he would have gone over that 70-point barrier. I think that is confirmation. That may well be their daughter. And now to the 22-year-old Nikolaj Majorov. You can see coach listed as Aleksandr Majorov Senior. His brother Aleksandr Majorov is also a competitive senior skater as well. And Nikolaj plans triple toe as his first element in the short program. Good jump combination to start.
Together we will rise above all these words and promises we can keep. Together we will fly above it all. Sometimes we fall.
Committed to the triple axel. really huge triple flip.
Yes, surely it's a sign to right. There's the secret line.
Wow. It's amazing. Arabian no-handed cartwheel. Not quite sure what it was to finish, but impressive acrobatic movement as the difficult entry out of the change foot combination spin. And although we haven't seen a quadruple jump attempted yet, of the three men who have competed, good skating skills, and that continues here with Nikolaj Majorov from Sweden. That step sequence had brilliant ice coverage at the end. And there was some real commitment and intensity into the presentation component score as well. Nikolaj can do quad salcho. He indeed is the first Swedish skater to land quad salcho, named after a fellow Swedish skater, Ulrich Salko, from some 100+ years ago. Choosing not to do that for this event. Would have been hoping for a really clean skate, but the triple axel eluded him today. But good height, good takeoff. Couldn't match the same distance on the second part of the combination. And here on the triple axel, looked like he just bailed in commitment, landing forwards. So easily losing when the fall is factored in, best part of 7 points with that element alone. But this was huge. As I said, competed at Worlds and Europeans. So we see the butterfly that was used as transition. I think that was part of the step sequence, so that will get the body move, will enhance the chances of getting the body movement feature. That one of the features to up the level on this step sequence. And the body movement feature, normally the most difficult to be called by the technical panel, but it was really evident from Nikolaj. So, although a two-time World Championship competitor, hasn't been since the 2020 Europeans that he last was a European Championship competitor. We'll be hoping to return to this very arena in a couple of months' time. You can see disappointment from Nikolaj Majorov from Sweden for the 69.94 points. The next competitor from Japan, Tatsuya Tsuboi, is the reigning World Junior bronze medalist. And he will skate to the music Stairway to Heaven for his short program.
Thank you.
first quadruple jump that we've seen today. Quadruple salto to start. Triple axel so far too. Japan's Tatsuya Tsuboi finishes his short program at the Grand Prix Espoo in Finland. And he said coming into the event that his goal was to secure a new personal best here. He's had boot problems since the MK John Wilson Trophy in Sheffield 2 weeks ago, where he was 5th place. But not showing any signs of that in his short program performance today. I suspect the opening quad salto will be deemed a little short of rotation, which was a fate that he suffered in Sheffield. But interestingly, despite the equipment problems he's had, increased the difficulty of the planned program content, had a triple flip, double toe in Sheffield, went for triple lutz, triple toe here. Now his personal best comes from the World Junior Championships earlier this year in Tallinn, Estonia, where he had 79 points in the short program, but juniors cannot include quad jumps, which he did here. You can see at least a quarter rotation short with a double 3-turn, which is a mandatory reduction for errors on the judges' chart, but no such issues with the triple axel. So I think he will comfortably lead the field at this stage. Just not sure if that mistake on the quad will be enough to beat the personal best and the goal that he has coming into this competition. Coach, same I think of Mai Mahara, his second in the women's event earlier today. Having a good day. You can see just a lack of extension and refinement in the features within the combination spin. And that truly will be what separates the best from the rest as we progress in the competition. The grades of execution increasing towards the maximum +5 as we head towards the later stages of the event. But for now, a successful day for Tatsuya Tsuboi. He had a 76.75 2 weeks ago in his first Grand Prix assignment. And over 2 points higher than that, just short though of the 79 personal best that he has. But a comfortable lead for the Japanese skater at this stage. And now to the penultimate skater in this first warm-up group, the 21-year-old Aleksandr Selevko. Skate Canada was his first senior Grand Prix. He was 8th there. And intends to use the difficult quadruple lutz as his first element in the short program. Nervous legs at the start of the program. Needs to settle down now. Triple lutz to start. Down on the quad toe. So impressive, that rotation on the heel. Such control on his blade within the change camel spin. Entry into flying sit spin. Aleksandr Selevko from Estonia. Such a shame because this is such an exciting skater. He brings so much originality, the level of some of the creativity that he possesses, incredibly impressive. The rotation on the heel within the change camel spin, beyond difficult. And actually on his social media, he does camel spin rotating on the toe pick. Aspects that few would even consider attempting, and it doesn't have a tangible result in the scoring. But a skater, somebody the skaters in his training route will be in such admiration of. Just a triple lutz to open. I've seen lovely quad lutz triple toe from him in practice, but the mistake there, every jumping element really unsuccessful. that rotation, so difficult. And maybe even the ISU technical panels and the technical committees will consider that as a future feature for the spins, because that makes people really think. But unfortunately, that fall on the triple axel and the fall on the quad toe and the triple lutz as opposed to quad lutz will make it difficult for him to post a score that showcases the potential he has here. The Kevin Aymoz type slide, further confirmation of his creativity, originality, body control. It borders on frenetic, it borders on, well, lack of control. But certainly, I would really respect and admire what he offers, and hopefully with more repetition, more consistency, it will just become a little more refined, a little more consistent, and more people will be able to appreciate what Aleksandr Selevko from Estonia has, because he certainly has some unique movement choices. Kudos to he and choreographer Rostislav Sinitsin, ice dance coach that coaches in the Center of Excellence in Oberstdorf, Germany. Has a personal best of 80 from the World Juniors in 2020. Won't be there, unfortunately, with that skate. 66.96. And a raise of the eyebrows for Aleksandr Selevko. Frustrating, but so much potential. He holds up the other competitors in 5th place. And now the first of the competitors in with a chance of qualifying for the Grand Prix final in Italy next month. Winner of the bronze medal at the MK John Wilson Trophy 2 weeks ago. Skating to Carol of the Bells, Shun Sato. Quadruple toe, double toe to open. Under-rotated fall on the quad lutz. Well, you can see Shun Sato's reaction to that short program performance, and understandably he will be disappointed. Interesting to see that he tweaked and changed the order of elements from his first Grand Prix assignment in Sheffield 2 weeks ago. Did the quad lutz to start there, and then had problems with the quad toe, double toe. Here he elected to do the quad toe combination to start, which was successful, but then had again problems on the second jumping pass in his program. Now, on face value, it's disappointing. It's not going to be a score that is competitive, but I have to take into serious consideration that this is an athlete who had major surgery in February. On the day of the men's free skate at the Olympic Games, which was indeed an event which he potentially vied to be competing in. There, the quad toe, double toe, was hoping for quad triple, so that in itself disappointing. We saw 2 quad lutzes in warm-up, a quarter short in rotation, and a fall on the element here when it counted. And now there has been the retirement of the great Yuzuru Hanyu, and we haven't seen Yuma Kageyama, Olympic medalist, on the circuit through injury either, so you would suspect there would be an opening in Japanese men's skating, but currently the top 3 men in the standings on the Grand Prix series this year hail from Japan. Shoma Uno, winner of both his Grand Prix, followed by Kao Miura, silver medalist at his, and Sota Yamamoto, also a silver medal in his 2 Grand Prix assignments. So the fight really to qualify for the world team in Saitama in Japan will be so intense, and that is the goal of Shun Sato, to podium at Japanese Nationals. But another very real objective for this skater is to be injury-free all season. And surely with prolonged and regular training free of injury, his improvement rate will continue significantly. So 81.59, a point below his short program score from 2 weeks ago in Sheffield, and he leads. Nice to wait to see if that will be enough to secure him close to podium contention after the next group of 6 skaters. Shun Sato, followed by Tatsuya Tsuboi from Japan, after the first group in the men's short program. As we look ahead now to the next 6 competitors. And it's incredibly exciting to see the next group, which includes the quad god, Ilia Malinin. But first up, Estonia's Arlet Levandi, followed by a crowd favourite, Kevin Aymoz from France, back from injury. Followed by Camden Pulkinen from the United States of America. And then his teammate, Ilia Malinin, winner in Skate America. And then the ever popular Keegan Messing. And the final skater, Morisi Kvitelashvili, looking for redemption following challenging skate at the MK John Wilson Trophy in his short program there. It will be incredibly exciting to see how this competition progresses, with the heavy favourite bound to be Ilia Malinin. It's been the talk of the skating world this year, talk of the sporting world really, the quadruple axel. It wasn't clear whether or not he would include it again, but it has been seen in practices here in Espoo. As we look to Arlet Levandi, his mother, Anna Levandi, who we've seen on the circuit with the likes of Eva-Lotta Kibus from Estonia also. She, the 1984 world silver medalist. She there ringside to support her son and student now, Pulkinen. Warming up with triple toe. Life change for Camden. Studying at university, away from home, training location changed, coaching setup changed. See all his academic brilliance in addition to skating successes he aspires to achieve. Hoping to replicate the likes of the 5th place that he had at the World Championships in Montpellier in France. You can see the transitional content that he's using now. With the elegant, open-chested posture. Triple loops, triple toe. Wonderful to see Kevin Aymoz from France back on the scene. He competed at the Warsaw Cup, winner there at that competition, narrowly beating Daniel Grassl from Italy. Oh, gorgeous triple axel from Kevin. And knowing that he's beaten Daniel Grassl, who has already qualified for the Grand Prix final, gives us an indication of the form that Kevin is returning to. We look to Ilia Malinin. It's been spoken so much about the quad axel that he performed, but this season he's more than just one element. His mum explained to me that they challenged him with new choreographers this year, working with Yuros Raskalaev and Shaylin Bourne, mindful of the need to push both his program component scores and his technical element score. Yeah, Keegan Messing, unlucky to finish off the podium at Skate Canada. His free skate was quite brilliant there. I thought he was a little unlucky not to come away with a bronze medal. He has acknowledged will be his final season. Not often that skaters are quite so vocal about it. He's made quite clear. As we look to Morisi Kvitelashvili going down there in the quad salco, and it'll be interesting to see how he fares today. 2 weeks ago had just a nightmare. He did a double salco, a double toe loop, and a single axel in Sheffield. And yet, he's capable of winning Grand Prix, having been the first Georgian skater to win a Grand Prix when he won the Rostelecom Cup in Sochi last year. Arlet Levandi, still just 16 years old, the second youngest competitor in the men's event. He celebrates his 17th birthday on Monday. Last year, he competed at both World Juniors and the European Championships. Kevin Aymoz, the short program from the Warsaw Cup was just so cool. The body movement, the use of novelty and creativity, touching the ice, sliding on the ice in his hands. So many unique options throughout the transitional content. Talking of sliding, it was almost cool. Not what he wanted though. Keegan Messing falling on the quad toe there. He had a horrible quad toe in the short program at Skate Canada. And effectively it was that element in the short program in Mississauga which prevented him from coming away with a bronze medal. Too much work to do in the free skate, couldn't quite catch up. Ilia just marking through the takeoffs of the quadruple jumps that he has planned. Looks like he looks plans a slightly easier planned program content for the short program here to that which he had in Skate America. 4th in the short there to battle back to win the title. Mother and coach Arlet Levandi encourages her son Arlet to the ice. Program choreographed by Benoit Richaud. Short program stories The Power of Water. Short of rotation and a fall over the opening triple axel. Traveling 3 turns in and out of the triple flip. Impressive, more speed than at the start of the program going into that triple H triple toe. Amazing use of his head movement throughout the step sequence, really pushing the body movement feature. Gorgeous finish as a difficult exit from the change sit spin. And lots to admire from the 2022 European Youth Olympic champion. Interesting that the entry into the triple axel made me feel that the skating skills were weaker than that which we have seen from many of the others already, but yet latterly the step sequence was so impressive, and you can really see that collaboration with choreographer Benoit Richaud paying off over years of work together. And I suspect the judges would give very different program component scores from the start to the end of the program. As I mentioned, his mother, the 1984 world silver medalist, you can see here, downgraded on the triple axel, so we'll lose huge number of points there. And And I wasn't sure if it was a mistake. No, not a mistake, because he did traveling outside 3-turn entry into the flip. Lovely back outside traveling 3 turns on the landing of it. And I think the change of edge, if it was on the combo spin, really impressively low in that sit forward feature. Quite a bit of pre-rotation on the takeoff, but had much more speed going into this triple lutz, triple toe than he had for the axel. And that's where the component scores really started to showcase big improvement. And I think one of the best examples of the use of body movement within the step sequence that I've ever seen. And that was a wondrous finish for the change set. Proudly sporting his Estonian Olympic jacket there. And I'm sure being European Youth Olympic champion, one of the proudest moments for both he and his mother. He was the first Estonian man to win a junior Grand Prix medal as well. And a score of 72.67, showcasing what potential he has even with the mistake on the opening element. We've just seen some incredible body movement from the young Estonian skater Arlet Levandi. Expect more of the same, if not better, from the wonderful Kevin Aymoz. Sidelined by injury again. Often he's been hampered by injury, but he's coming here fresh off the back of a win at the Warsaw Cup last week. France's Kevin Aymoz. To prove my point, amazing opening. Really strong triple axel to start. Did well to recover, triple flip, double 3-turn, triple toe. Great depth of edge in the outside spread eagle. Well, it's so rare that you would see originality in the movement choice. So infrequent that you would see something new in the competitive arena. And yet, choices of movement there from Kevin Aymoz from France. Definitely worthy of a rewind to check back out how he manages some of the transitional content that he has. And really hope that the judging panel have the bravery to push the composition component. Silvia Fontana, Italian champion, his coach, and Silvia listed as choreographer as well. And the work that she and Kevin have created, I just think it's brilliant. And the injuries which have prevented Kevin from competing already on the Grand Prix. So cool. Have watered down the technical content, so no quadruple jumps attempted. The triple axel here, the most difficult element planned, but good grade of execution on it. And every one of the other elements really pushing towards higher GOE. I had to think so hard. I don't think the left toe tapped in. And the double three turn, which separated the triple flip and the triple toe, has a mandatory reduction. As Silvia looks on. This triple lutz, the matching of that to the musical structure. That's a bullet point for the judges. Judges want to see steps before the jump or on an unexpected or creative entry. There, the aerial. And there, the butterfly. The choice of those kind of transitions and this to finish, which is just magnificent, will be so physically demanding. It doesn't have, as I've said with others, the same tangible impact on his score. There isn't an assigned value to the likes of the aerial, but it has to be pushing high into the nines on the composition component. Judges looking for variety and contrast of energy and movements in the presentation. And in the composition, they want connection between it and within the elements. That absolutely had it. C'est bien. 88.96 for Kevin Aymoz from France. And a hug from Silvia. Sees him going into the lead ahead of Shun Sato. And now to the skater who placed 5th at Skate Canada in Mississauga. America's Camden Pulkinen. Skating to Fly Me to the Moon. To start his short program at his first Grand Prix. Wants to open here with quad. And he does that, just hands down. There, just a single axle. Just struggling to get the camel feature. Does well there. Looks triple toe. Fabulous transition. Now, beautiful skating, again from Camden Pulkinen from the United States of America. Former world record holder of the junior world record for the short program. His frustration with the triple axel that turned into a single. As I mentioned, he popped the quad toe in his short program at Skate Canada. This time, the popped element was on the axle. He'll lose almost 9 points on that element. Coach Alex Johnson greets him. Huge changes for him in his life and career, studying financial economics at university, whole life of relocation. Said that his day is incredibly long as he tries to balance his training pursuits with his studies. There you can see the single axle. And a very measured reaction from Alex. Undoubtedly, Camden and Alex forming a good working relationship. You can see Alex's impact in Camden skating. Such a beautiful skater, his coach, and indeed Camden has acknowledged that, praise for the way in which his coach can demonstrate the movement to him as he tries to replicate that same quality. But just, I suspect the recovery time, having heard of his schedule where he's studying late into the night, not the recovery time to have optimized training. Perhaps that was a factor in his inability to nail a clean shot program here. But you can see beyond the mistakes, recognizing why he was top 5 in the world when he competed at Worlds in Montpellier in France.
I mean, I was like, it's fine. I felt like the last one was pretty good too.
The flying camel spin was a frustration there, that a relatively simple element for Camden. Just coming in at level 1, not able to grab the feature. And a 72.45. And this is Coach Alex saying that axle's worth 8 points, so that an immediately enhancement would take him over the 80 barrier. So Camden Pulkinen was 5th at the World Championships. This skater was 9th at the World Championships in Montpellier. But since that result, and since his World Junior title, shortly afterwards, he's gone on to revolutionize expectations with his quadruple jumping ability. Ilia Malinin from the United States of America.
I put a spell on you because you're mine. You better stop. That's you. Oh, check, 'cause I am lying.
Quad toe, triple toe. held up by quad salto. Struggling with the final jumping element, the triple axel. Very difficult content as transition. Some wobbles affecting the skating skills component. America's Ilia Malinin. And his reaction to the short program in Espoo makes him all the more endearing. Seems a very carefree character, and yet he must be incredibly focused to have amassed the technical expertise that he has delivered this season. Interestingly, electing a slightly simpler planned program content for his short program in Finland compared to that which he delivered in Norwood, Massachusetts at Skate America. Turns 18 years old next Friday. You can see that youthful exuberance and joy here. But also mindful here in these images of the attempt to push up the presentation component. This, the quad toe, triple toe. He fell on the quad toe in Skate America in the short program. And choosing to do quad salco as the solo jump as opposed to quad lutz, which he did over a month ago in his first assignment. The change of edge in the camel spin was impressively fast in speed and rotation. But here, having successfully landed quadruple axel in competition, struggling almost ironically with the triple axel. His coach and father, Roman Skorniakov, watches ringside. His father, an Olympic skater, as was his mother, Tatsuya Malinina. She indeed the first winner of the 4 Continents Championships back in 1999. So he comes from such pedigree. Not only are his parents Olympians, but his grandmother was a gymnast, his grandfather a figure skater, so following in a lineage of very successful athletes in his family. And could he go on to become one of the best ever skaters? Certainly he has performed a technical feat incompatible by any other. And indeed he's posed many to beg the question, is the quadruple axel valued highly enough in this system? It remains to be seen whether or not he will include that difficult element in the free skate tomorrow. As I said in warm-up, it's been delivered in practice in Espoo here, but may not need that certainly to qualify for the Grand Prix final. 15 points from Skate America and the win there. I think he needs just a 4th place or higher to guarantee inclusion at the Grand Prix final next month. 85.57, half a point down from his score in Norwood, Massachusetts. He slots into second place behind France's Kevin Aymoz. Such a popular skater on the circuit. 30-year-old Keegan Messing will be hoping to improve on the 4th place result he had at Skate Canada in Mississauga. Better than in Canada, quad toe. On the transitions. Oh, amazing knee bend of his. Salvages the triple toe. Well, almost inevitably the skater that most excites the crowd in any arena that he performs in, Canada's Keegan Messing. And some aspects stronger here in Finland than in his first Grand Prix assignment. Had a really painful and horrible fall on the quad toe in Canada. Managed to come away with just a hands down on the quad toe here, but then mistakes later on the triple axel. And I think dropping levels a little bit in the spins and little stumbles throughout the program. Just looked not the most comfortable of skates, and whilst he isn't, perhaps you couldn't use the word elegant or refined for Keegan, normally his skating skills are just so solid. His ice coverage, his power, his speed, his acceleration really helped to enhance a good program component score for the Canadian as well. But the little wobbles today and a little bit behind the music perhaps may make it difficult to utilize that second mark as much as we've enjoyed from him before. You can see there the hand down on the quad toe, and here step out on the axle. So just not the optimal skate, but we've seen so many times before, the strength of his legs helps him to come away with so much more than others might have. How he clings on to that triple toe. And here in the transition, that was just a little bit late on the music for those jumped mohawks within the step sequence. But I think many fans around the world, I'm not sure he managed to get the rotations in that sit spin that he was after. But skating fans around the world will be devastated that he has clearly stated this to be his last season. Following the short program in Skate Canada, he showed an image on his phone.
Hey Wyatt. Hey Wyatt, you want to say hi?
And there's his son Wyatt, who fans around the world expect to see.
Hey Wyatt, look, you're on TV.
And Wyatt actually was taken onto the ice at the exhibition gala in Skate Canada.
As I hang up on my wife.
Keegan's wife, Lane Hodson, a former figure skater herself. 88.12. Not bad, says Keegan.
I'm just always so nervous for the short. I don't know why.
Interesting to hear him acknowledge his nerves for the short program. We look forward to seeing his entertaining performance value in the free skate tomorrow.
My legs are so shaky right now.
And now the final competitor in the men's short program. The 27-year-old from Georgia, Morisi Kvitelashvili. A skater of great variability in his performance. Has 2 quads planned for his short program.
Oh, Father, tell me, do we get what we deserve? Oh, we get what we deserve. Oh, you let your
Fall, but did rotate as opposed to Sheffield. It was just a double salco here, the quad. A step out of the triple axel, but still better than the single from 2 weeks ago. Horrible fall on the quad toe. It's interesting because had we not seen what happened at the MK John Wilson Trophy 2 weeks ago, this would have been a very disappointing short program for a former Grand Prix winner for Morisi Kvitelashvili, but based on what happened in Sheffield, this was an improvement. Working with Lorenzo Magri, who greets him off the ice this season. He's had a relocation in his training from Moscow to Italy. And here the triple axel, which was a single 2 weeks ago, fully rotated, no question on that, but the step out making the judges push down to the -3s and -4s in grade of execution. Yeah, Sako. That will go down as a mandatory 1 point deduction for the fall. Yeah, he's had a questionable technique on the quad toe before, but numerous occasions, despite the takeoff, he's had the jump called cleanly, but here, a fall that he will not want to replicate. 56.42 in Sheffield a fortnight ago, which is a fraction of the personal best that he secured at the Olympic Winter Games of 97.98. Morisi doesn't showcase necessarily what he does in exhibition gala. He was renowned for that brilliant genie from the Aladdin soundtrack performance in the exhibition. It was requested by venues around the world. It was so entertaining, and there he demonstrated such brilliant presentation value. Doesn't feel able, with the demands of the technical requirements in competition, to show that level of performance ability as yet. So it's a 62.42. And as in Sheffield, he goes into 12th of the 12 competitors after the short program for Morisi Kvitelashvili. And that concludes the men's short program. 3 of the 4 disciplines have been competed. And it may be a surprise to see Kevin Aymoz, who's coming back from injury, leading the field, but rightly so, with what was some truly brilliant program component scores work to secure him the lead ahead of the quad god Ilia Malinin in 2nd place. And the bronze medal winner from his first Grand Prix assignment, Shun Sato, finds himself in that place after the short program here in Espoo. Impressive to see Valtter Virtanen, the Finnish competitor, in his 17th year as a senior competitor, and 9th of the 12 men after day 1 of the action in the men's competition. And again, ice resurface being looked after as we head to the rhythm dance, the final competition to take part in this final event on the Grand Prix series. And as we look to this last event on this first day of competition, excited to see who will secure or get close to securing their spot at the Grand Prix final. As we look to the top 3 finishers after the men's short program, with Japan's Shun Sato scoring 81.59 points. And the triple axel there, a highlight of it. And then the winner of Skate America, the 17-year-old Ilia Malinin. He was only 4th in the short program in Skate America in Norwood, Massachusetts. 2nd place in Espoo. We know what he's capable of when it comes to the free skate. Excited to see him perform again tomorrow. But it was France's Kevin Aymoz He hopes to replicate the success of Adam Xiaohim Fa, fellow Frenchman who won a Grand Prix earlier on the circuit. And a masterclass really in composition and in body movement. Just brilliance from Kevin. And coach choreographer Silvia Fontana as well. Here the slow motions demonstrating what brilliance he offered. So that concludes the men's short program. Make sure you come back to join us for the final event of the day, the rhythm dance, coming up next.